Today I'm going to show you a fresh way to think about finding your art style, the one that takes a lot of pressure off. So let's get started. Hey everybody, I'm Christina. I juggle a full-time job and my own art journey, and here I share the honest parts of learning art as a self-taught artist. These days I was thinking a lot about finding your style, and I know it seems pretty overwhelming. For example, when we open social media and we see all those well-polished illustrations, it seems like people know exactly what they're doing and they have their own style. But today I really want to try something different together. Instead of stressing out about finding your style, let's imagine that we already have it. For example, what would that even look like? You don't need to imagine it in a very polished way and with a lot of detail. I've called that technique a short visualization, and I really don't want to stress you out. It's just a few questions that I would like to think for a moment about and imagine your answers, just because those answers are going to be the things that you really want. I believe that those are going to narrow down drastically your idea of finding your style, and they're going to be the starting point towards that journey. So let's try it, shall we? Okay, so the first question is, what colors do you like? Maybe you like pastel colors, bright colors. What is the color combinations that you like? I'm asking the question that way just because I don't want to think from the perspective of I like those type of art, that's why I like those colors. I really want you to think about those colors in a more personal way, like I really like orange, for example, and that's totally fine if I don't have any specific idea of orange illustrations that I really admire in my mind right now. The most important part is that you like orange, just as an example. That's enough. I would suggest that you write those answers down, because they're going to be, as I said, the starting point of finding your art style. Once you've answered the first question, I'm going to ask you the second one, which is, what kind of lines do you like? Do you like bold lines or maybe soft lines? Do you actually like lines at all? Because you may imagine that you won't use lines in your drawing. For example, you may use shadows or highlights in order to represent that depth in your illustrations. The third question, what are you going to draw? Do you like to draw figures? Do you like to draw landscapes? Do you like to draw flowers? Or maybe you like to draw animals? Or you like to draw furnitures? And don't worry, you may like a lot of things, you may like everything. That's totally fine. Okay, next question. What type of characters do you like? Do you like cute characters? Or maybe weird characters? Do you like manga type characters? Or you like crazy characters, like a combination of unusual things? Do you like simple characters? Maybe you like sweet little doodles, for example. Okay, once you have that answer written down, the last question that I'm going to ask you, what type of illustrations you want to draw? Do you like to draw calm illustrations, like lo-fi and things that are bringing coziness to people? Or you want to draw very expressive ones with a lot of action and a lot of things happening in the illustrations that are very energizing and full of life? What is it that you want to draw? It might be something in between. Some of the questions might require a bit more time to spend thinking about it, so you can pause the video, think about the answer, and then continue. Totally fine. Okay, once we are done with the questions and answers from the first part, I'm going to ask you one more question, which is pretty abstract, but at the same time it's going to give us a lot of information about us in the future. And that question is, what would actually want from your art style? For example, you may want to be confident. You may want consistency. You may want to be able to draw everything. You may want to create drawings that are very personal to you. For example, you may have something that you are very passionate about. Let's say you're passionate about the climate change and you really want to create things that are related with the climate change and to raise awareness towards rising of the sea levels. It's very important to answer that question, because again, that is going to give you direction for the future. So what is it for you? And I know what you're thinking. So what now? I have those answers, and what should I do now? Okay, so now we have a starting point, because that is going to give you way more clarity when it comes to making choices in the future. For example, when you start drawing, you already know that you really like, let's say, warm colors. Now is the autumn season. Let's try to draw some fallen leaves, for example. Let's draw an autumn landscape if you answer that you really want to draw landscapes. If you answer that you want to draw, let's say, animals, then you can draw animal. That animal might be walking around falling leaves in the park, or it might be a person with a warm colored sweater. It might be anything, but you are drawing with those warm colors just because you've already answered that question and you know those colors are your colors. For example, if you want to draw lines, now you know what kind of lines you need to master in order to achieve that drawing style of yours. If you want to create characters, now you know that you need to learn anatomy first, but if you decide that you want to draw florals, then anatomy maybe is not a priority for you. You may start working towards that goal in the future, but if you really want to draw florals, then you don't need that. You can skip that for now. You may concentrate on the things that really are going to bring you that result that you're looking towards, and actually your art style is going to come pretty easier and way faster. I asked you to answer those questions not to collect a lot of illustrations, just because I believe that the first thing that comes to mind are the things that you really like, and you are not going to be that much influenced by what is trendy now, what other people are drawing, liking, etc. Now you have the backbone of your future art style. From here you can, of course, make a library of things that you really like when it comes to drawing with warm colors, for example, and see if all the things that you actually wrote down, if those are the things that you really enjoy drawing. When we see something, we may feel like, okay, that's amazing, I really want to draw that way, but when you start drawing, you feel like, okay, maybe I'm not that much into it, I really enjoy looking at it, but when it comes to drawing, it's not my thing. Don't worry about it, don't stress it too much. The most important part is to have the starting point. Disclaimer here, of course, we are people, our art styles is going to change over time just because we as humans are changing. I can give you an example of my own style. I found very early on in my creative journey that I so much love pastel colors. That is going to be me. I really like those creamy tones that are very, very soft and gentle. But lately I am experimenting with different colors. I'm trying to make them more saturated. It's just the process, and that's the first step. If you want to dig deeper on the mindset side of art, I recommend watching that video next, where I'm talking about drawing and how it has absolutely nothing to do with talent. If you like that video, be sure to like and subscribe for more art related videos in the future, and thank you very much for spending the time with me, and I'm going to see you in the next video. Bye!